Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Vijay and I'm a Microsoft MVP in SharePoint. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the Fluent UI choice group, which is known as the radio button, as well as we will see how we can use checkbox in SPFX. So these are the Fluent UI controls, and we will see how we can use in a form. So we will develop a web part, and you can see here. So basically the choice group or the radio button, we can select single value, you can see here, and in the multi select you can see I have selected multiple values also. And once you submit, the value will be saved to the particular list. So for this I have also created a list. I'll show you those things, but what we'll do is we will first create a web part, a SPFX web part. If you are new to this, then you can check out. I have also explained in previous videos. I'll put those links in video description, how we can set up your development environment for SPFX, and then how we can create your SPFX client-side web part. All these things I have also discussed in other examples. So we will quickly create a web part, and then we will see how we can use it. So for this I will open the Node.js command prompt. You can see here I will run as administrator, and now I'll go to the D drive. Basically I'll go to a folder which is SPFX, and in this I usually keep all my SPFX solution on that. So inside that we will create another folder. So I will say Fluent UI choice demo, something like that I will give, and then I will navigate to that. So cd Fluent UI choice demo, and then here we will run the command to create the project yo@Microsoft/SharePoint. So remember, here we are going to create a React application. So React web part we will create. You can see here. Now it will ask us the solution name, so the solution will be the same, and the target SharePoint Online latest, because we are going to deploy into the SharePoint Online. If you are using on-premises versions, then you can select from here the other options like 2019 or 2016 Online. So use the current folder, and then we don't want this, so say no, next thing no, and now here we will create a web part as I said. So from these three options I will select web part, just click on enter, and then what will be the web part name? You can give any web part name. Let it be the hello world on this particular case, hello world description, and then here I will select React. So you can see here React I have selected because we are going to use this Fluent UI React controls. So click on enter, and then now it will take some time and create our project or the solution. Now next what I'll do is, let me just open it. I will go here, and here I will show you exactly what is the list. But before that, let me just show you how we can check the documentation for all these Fluent controls. So you can see here, this is the Fluent. You can go to the home page and you will be able to see the wave here. So all these controls you can select, and then you will be able to see all the controls here. So if you'll see basic input, you can see here checkbox choice group is there. So both these controls we are going to see here. For example, if I'll go to the checkbox, you will be able to see here various checkbox options, and then if we'll go to show code, you will be able to see the code, how we can use it. You can see here how we can use these things here. So, and this is how the checkbox is there. Here this is just some hard-coded values, but whatever we will do in the example, that we will read the values from the SharePoint column. Okay, so this is about the checkbox, and the choice group also same way. You can see here the options are there, and each time you can select show code, and you will be able to see how you can implement this. Now let me just show you how this is our list. So from this list, first of all we are going to bind the checkbox and the radio button values, and the other thing is we will save this. For example, here you can see single value checkbox. This is the column name. You can take the column name according to your requirement. Just I have shown it because this is how we will use it here, and then for showing this demo I have taken the column names like this. So in this single value checkbox, this is actually a choice column. You can see here edit column. This is a choice column, and these are the choices. So SharePoint, Power Apps, Power BI, Teams. So these are the choices, and we will bind these values into in our web part. And then there is multi value checkbox. So here you can see these are the choices: SharePoint, Power Apps, Power BI, Teams, MS Flow, Azure, Yammer, like this. So we have all these choices. So the checkbox, we will bind it from all these choice values. Now tomorrow what will happen if I'll add a choice, and then I will refresh this. Then what will happen is it will these values will be automatically populated here. So you don't need to really hard code, or you don't need to really go and change anywhere in the code. So now let us see whether our web part is created or not. You can see here it is still taking some time. So once it will complete, then we can see the. Meanwhile, if you are interested to learn SharePoint, you can see here I have a SharePoint development training course. I have also other training courses like SharePoint framework training. So you can also access the complete training course. So I have put that in the everything in the video description. You can get the links and you can check out everything. So there are 23 modules are there. So you can check everything on this. So now let me just see. Still it is not there, still it is going on. So we'll check in some time. So our project now got created. So as I said, we are also saving the data. So whatever the data will be there, it will be saved to this particular list. So our single value will be stored in this single value checkbox, and then multi-value checkbox value will be stored here. So radio button will come here and the checkbox will come here. Now for that, I'm using PNP here. So I will just install this. You can see here npm i pnp/s. So this is the thing that you are going to do in this particular example. So these two commands that we required to install PNP, because we are trying to save the data using PNP. Now, so I have already written a complete blog post on that. So you can get the link in the video description, from where you can get the project download. So you can directly get the project. So in that case, you just need to run npm i and then you can test it. Provided you require to create a list like this. We can see here just title is just a GUID and then these two columns. So that is what we require. I have already shown it here. But apart from that, the other things that you can see here, I have already done this in a project. So you can see here. Okay, in case you are new and if you want to open this project, you can just type code and then dot, click on enter, and then it will open the project using Visual Studio Code. Now here I have the same thing. You can see here there will be the component, and we have this file here, a .tsx file, and then you can see this is the webpath.ts file. So I have the property here where we am passing the web.absolute URL, so that we can get the list by using this web URL property. Now this is the .tsx file. It is the main file where we are going to write our code. Now before writing this code, what I'll do here is let me just go to this project, and we will run it, and we will see it how exactly it is the form is appearing. So I just go to the folder. You can see here this is the folder, and here I will run it locally. So you can see here gulp serve, and what it will do now is it will open in our local workbench. But we will see this in the SharePoint workbench. So here is my SharePoint workbench. You can see here SPFX for blog. This is the site where this list is there. You can see here. And once my local workbench start, then I can go over here and then I can add the web part. So we don't really need to deploy it. If you want to locally test it, but of course if you want to use it in your SharePoint online site, if you want to add into any web part page or something, then you have to deploy it. But in this case, you can see here it is the workbench.aspx page, and here it is. So here is our local workbench. So now it is running. That means the web part will be available here. I will just refresh the page once. So you can see here I refresh, and then this is the Fluent You can see here Fluent UI checkbox. It is the solution. Again, this is the existing solution. That's the reason I'm saying this is the existing solution I'm using here, so that we can, I have already created the code. It will take time to do these things. So now you can see here, the by default when the web part is loading, the values are appearing here, and these values are nothing. It is coming from this whatever the column options we have, the choices we have. You can see here SharePoint, Power Apps, Power BI and Teams, and this is the same thing. Sorry, this is the same thing. It is appearing here. And for the multi select box, you can see here all these things are there. Now what I'll do is I will add one item. So I have added Teams, and then here I selected the last three elements here, last three options, and I'll click on submit. You can see here submitted successfully. I'll click on OK, and then I will go to this one, and then here you can see the last option. You can see here Teams, and we selected Yammer, Azure and MS Flow. So this is how we can save this. Now let's go through the code. If we'll go to the code, you can see here we need all this import statement because we are going to use PNP, and then here it is. So we need to, from this Fluent UI React, we need to use this controls checkbox. Primary button is there. You can see this is the button. Here it is, the submit button, and then choice group. So these things, and then so as I said, what we are doing here is we are loading all these values or the choices and binding into the particular controls. So if I will show you the render method, here is our render method where this is the title, and then select single choice group, and then here is the choice group. So choice group control, you can see it here, and the values or the options, you can see it is coming from this state, which is the single value options. And then for multiple, you can see here we have the multi options, and for that we are going to, it is like a map dot item, it is like a for each loop. So whatever the options we have, let's say the options we have 5 options are there, so we are doing here 5 times the checkbox we are adding and the label we are providing. And on change we have this event as well, on check multi checked. So first thing is how the options are coming. So in this case, if you'll see here, one is this one single value option, the second one is, you can see here, multi value options. Now what exactly these things, if you'll see here, I have a couple of arrays on this. You can see it is of type any, and then here this dot state, and we have by default we have an empty array, these things. But when the component did mount get called, you can see here we are taking the get choices, and we are passing this choice and then single value or multi value. 2 parameters I am passing. One is the field name and the second one is the value. So in this case, get choice, get checkbox choices, it is nothing, a method which I wrote and which will pick the item choices from the list. So now in this case, if you'll see here, get checkbox choices, I have the value. So it is something that I want to distinguish whether we will bind the single checkboxes or single values or the multiple values. So you can see here, it is a, we are getting the web, so web URL. From that it will give the web URL, and then you can see here web.list.get by title, and this is our list name, and then we are trying to retrieve based on the internal name. So in this case, you can see here my internal name. So whatever the internal name for this single value checkbox, that it will come here. You can see single value checkbox dot select choices. So in this case, we are getting all the choices dot get, so it will give you all the choices. Now once you have all the choices, we are doing a for loop, and here I am trying to add to this array. So you can see here this is an array, and you can see this is the array, and then we are returning single value choices. And the second one, if you'll see here, now when you return it, you can see here it is coming here, and then we are just setting up the set state. So for that single value options, we are setting this. So that means whatever the array values are there, it will be now on this particular state, and that is the reason it is, you can see here we are binding from the state. So the same way for multi-value, you can see only thing is the here you can see the column field name and then choices we are getting, and again here also we are doing same for loop, and we are adding to another array, and this value you can see here the set state, we this time we will set this one multi-value options. So once we have set it, now this code will be set it. That means by that time, whenever the web part will load, you can see here, then these values will be there. Now you can see the choices. Now anything you will change it in the dynamic. Let's say I'll go to the list and I will edit this column and then add one more choices, then it will come here. For example, I'll go here, edit this column. I will just to make here, let's say I'll add SPFX and I will click on save. So if I will now go here, refresh it, you should be able to see SPFX here. So you can see here choices. Okay, I need to okay, let's see why it came choices. You can see here actually it didn't save it properly. SPFX. Okay, now it is SPFX. So I will just save now. Let's go back and refresh here once. You can see here now SPFX. So that means it's completely dynamic. Now once we have this, then user will select this and then submit. So for that select thing, what is the event it will trigger here? If you look at this, on change, this dot on change event, and here on change, it is another event on checkbox multi checked. So two events are there. So on check, what is on change, what will happen? If you see here on change, we are setting up the set state. So single choice value, because we know only one value is there. But for the other one, multi check, we don't know how many items will be selected. That's the reason we are whatever the elements will be there, whatever user will select, keep on ticking. So it will, the change event will happen, and then it will, we are setting up this. You can see here we have added, we have taken an array. So we are adding into that array. So this is actually a global array that I have taken here. You can see my variable. And once we have this, then finally on the save method, on the button click, you can see this is, we are getting this. This is the list name, item add. This is the title. We can just adding a GUID, and then single value checkbox, this dot state dot single value choice group, and for multi value checkbox, this dot state dot multi value checkbox, which is an array. So it will save all these values. So this is how we can work with these controls. So single value and which is the radio button and checkbox. I hope you like this. I will put, you can get this code or the project solution from the blog post. I will put the link in the video description. And if you want similar kind of videos, then subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will get a lot of free videos on SPFX, SharePoint, Office 365, Power Platform, everything you will get it free. So thank you and have a nice day.